What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the 2020 podcast, Canada's #1 optometry podcast, bringing clarity to business, optometry, and entrepreneurship. I'm your host, Dr. Harbir Sian, and today I have another Eye2Eye episode for you guys. And if you are familiar with the podcast, then you know the Eye2Eye episodes are these short episodes where it's just me talking to you guys, trying to share some knowledge, share some information that I have, experiences that I've had to hopefully help you grow, and maybe you can implement the lessons I've learned into your life to help improve your professional or business career. And today's conversation is one that I've actually been wanting to have for quite some time, and I just haven't known whether I should or how to even approach it. But as time has gone on, as changes have happened in our industry and our profession, I felt like now has to be the time. Otherwise, it's going to end up being too late. You know, I like to talk about entrepreneurship and business related things and inspiring things that can help us all grow. I like to bring on guests who can share their challenges and inspire us, individually and as a profession, as optometry, as a profession, to grow and think outside the box. And I'd like for the 2020 podcast to be a voice for the profession, for Canadian optometry, a place where we can all come and say, here's how we can be better. Let's get together. Let's all be better together across the country, so we know that our profession will continue to flourish and grow and strengthen with time. And I feel like Canadian optometry and Canadian optometrists are at a pivotal point in the history of our profession. The very ground that our profession is built on is shifting below our feet. And unless we're careful, these tectonic shifts are going to result in an earthquake, and we, the optometrists, are going to be the ones who are left to pick up the pieces of what used to be optometry in Canada. Optometrists seem to be in demand these days. There's various entities and opportunities for optometrists all over the place. For the first time in my career, I feel like I'm seeing a scarcity of optometrists. But the question is this scarcity because these entities truly value our skill set? Or is it because they require, based on the current rules and regulations, they require our services for their businesses to succeed? Because if it's the latter, how long until one of these entities is large enough, strong enough, influential enough to change the rules and regulations, to change them so that they don't need our services anymore, or to change them so that we become automatons and they dictate the services that we provide and how we provide them? And if you think that's far-fetched, just look back about 10 years and see how one organization caused a massive deregulation here in BC. I've heard many of these organizations claim that they have the optometrist's best interest at heart, that they want to do right by the optometrist. But my question to you is, while you're doing right by the optometrist, what are you doing for optometry? What are you doing for the profession as a whole? What good is a fat paycheck today if the profession is degraded over time? So I'm calling these entities and these organizations to the floor. I would like to invite you to come forward and talk to us and share with us what you envision optometry looking like 10 years from now. And what do you think you are doing and your organization is doing to help support optometry as a whole? Specsavers, Bailey Nelson, Ollie Quinn, Clearly, LensCrafters, FYI, New Look. What are you all doing to help make sure optometry survives and thrives in the future? A fat paycheck today, extra perks for the individual optometrist today, while behind the scenes looking forward to degrading and diminishing the profession, is not what we're talking about. What are we doing to grow the profession, to grow the scope of our profession in the long term? I invite you, anyone and everyone who is willing and interested in coming forward to share your thoughts. I'm opening up the floor here on the 2020 podcast to come forward and let's have a conversation. Open dialogue. Let's talk about where we think optometry is going to be 10 years, 20 years from now. And to my colleagues and to my friends, we have to ask ourselves, what are we doing to make sure our profession is growing? Whether you like it or not, this is the profession that we sweat for, that we cried for, that we stayed up late hours cramming for. We spent years in graduate school and thousands of dollars on our education for. If we're not working to make this profession stronger, what did we do all of that for? I understand the need to make a living, to pay off loans, to support families. But again, what good is the money now if this profession that we spent all this time working for is not around 10 years from now? You guys know I like my philosophy and my stoic philosophy and my quotes. And, my favorite ancient philosopher is Marcus Aurelius. And Marcus Aurelius would always write about doing something for the greater good. And one of the famous quotes is, have I done something for the greater good? Because then I can share in those benefits. If we are working together for the greater good, we can all share in the benefits and we can all share in that future that we build together. And if you find yourself sitting there wondering if you as an individual or you as a small group of people can actually do anything to affect change, I'm going to leave you with the one last quote that I think is really powerful when we have those kinds of concerns. Never doubt that a small, thoughtful group of committed citizens can change the world. In fact, it's the only thing that ever has.